Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Welcome to Monday Morning Matters. Monday Morning Matters. It delights my heart to come your way this morning. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Welcome to Monday Morning Matter, the third series of benchmarks for church health. Thank you for hooking up with us in this series of Monday Morning Matters. We've been giving some good content, and we thank you. Welcoming everyone to our Facebook Live and YouTube channel to this broadcast show. It's been good coming across some pastors, some church leaders with our content. Thank you for hooking up with us. We are so glad that you are part of this live broadcast show, even while now or watching it later. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the lead pastor, lead consultant rather, and the founder and CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. I'm the lead consultant of Magnicraft Consulting. And so I want to just say a little bit about Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches to grow, become healthier through empirical assessment, trainings, revitalization, and strategic blueprints. So those are the four strategies we use to make local churches to become healthier, to grow healthier, and to get healthier in the shortest possible time. Our vision is to be the leading church health consultancy that creates actionable, sustainable, and adaptable solutions. I'm also a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the US. I also have a certification with Church Answers University or Church Consultation University also in the US. I'm your host to the weekly live Facebook broadcast show on every Monday, 7 a.m. Nigerian time. I'm also known as the Church Health Guide of the 21st century. A big thank you to all those who are sharing our content, listening to our content. In fact, over the weekend, a pastor told me, I've been watching your broadcast. They don't comment, they don't like, and that's okay. Please, thank you from the depth of my heart. Thank you for also watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your sharing our content to your pastors, to your church leaders. And I know we're having a kind of win-win situation here. Okay, so let's go into the juice of the day, the benchmarks for church health. Benchmarks for church health. As a church leader, you need to understand church concepts, and the depth and understanding of your church concept will always affect the quality of your leadership style to your congregation. I've always come up with a framework I learned from Jim Biber, former president, Society for Church Consulting. You see, you just have to be balanced in all these church functions, and then you have to make sure that all of them are healthy to get your church towards health. Okay, as a result of church health, as we are talking about benchmarks, leaders need to be on top of those metrics in terms of the depth and understanding of church concept, so that they can lead their congregation effectively. There's no universal agreed upon set of benchmarks, okay, but the benchmarks I'm actually talking about has to be a universal benchmark. But there are some other benchmarks that are contextual, okay. They are related to your community, because every community is different from another, and every context is also different from another. So there are no such universal agreed upon set of benchmarks for measuring church health. But let's see how you can engage a church consultant so that you can get a professional outside view of what your church looks like in terms of church health. And then also, we also have different religious communities, denominations that might have their own unique way. Like for the Baptists, the number of water baptism is very, very crucial, to unlike some other denominations. So denominations usually have different emphasis on some benchmarks than the other, because not all data are equal. Not all data are the same. Okay, so you can also listen to these benchmarks and develop your own unique indicators for evaluating the spiritual, social, psychological, organizational vitality of your congregation, of your church. However, some commonly used universal benchmark is what we have been discussing in this live broadcast, so that as you lead your church, you engage a church consultant, you'll be able to assess your church health and lead your church towards church health. And I can tell you that when you get your church to be healthy, a lot of marvelous things can happen to your church. One of the things is that God is going to use your church more, because God does not use something that is sick. God cannot effectively use a church that is sick, or God cannot effectively use a church that is not healthy. And so one of the things is your attendance change, the number of people regularly attend your worship service. That's still a good metrics that's still a good benchmarks for church health. You need to be on top of the volume of people that you are worshiping with week in, week out. I can go a step further to looking at your attendance change, and looking at also the people in the attendance that are not showing up, and the frequency of attendance. Get my book on church retention, pathway to growth. Is going to help you on the infrequency of attendance and church retention, what is making your church to decline, what you can do. And that book is going to help you very well. Then other things that I bought, look at, after attendance, look at the giving, the amount of financial support you are getting from your congregation. That also tells us how much of the vision they are. There's a buy-in to the vision. Okay, the amount of financial support your congregation is giving to the church in terms of offerings, in terms of tithe, in terms of donation, in terms of pledges, to make sure that the church is actually doing outreach, evangelism, and so much of corporate social responsibility to the community. The other one has to do with engagement both on-site and online. Okay, your church should be able to have a foyer or a place where people can engage. That's the degree to which members are actively participating. You see, one of the things I can say that is unhealthy in churches is when you have a lot of congregation, a lot of people in the church, but they're not interacting, they're not engaging, they're not volunteering, they're not interacting, they're not attending small groups, they're not leading ministries, they're not contributing their quota to advance the church forward in terms of church health. So look at the quality of engagement, both on-site and online. When you share the grace after the church, Do they try to reach out to those who are new in the church service? There was a quality of engagement online? Okay, you do the live streaming, you have finished your service, allow people to still have some form of engagement, a form of interaction. The quality of engagement will also help to tell us the benchmarks for church health. The other one is spiritual growth. I know one thing is sure, that anybody who comes to your church actually wants to grow spiritually. And so from time to time, you can be able to look at the yardstick of discipleship and spiritual growth. That's the extent to which individuals are growing spiritually, are growing financially, are growing physically, are growing emotionally, are growing otherwise in your church. And you have to develop different modules, different capacity development for deeper relationship with God, and also good relationship with other believers, and displaying evidence of what? Spiritual fruitfulness. Okay, the other one is discipleship. I've glossed over that. The degree to which church is effectively making and maturing disciples, and that is the core of the church. Discipleship. Okay, the degree to which the church is effectively making and maturing disciples who can carry out the vision and the mission of the church. And what I'm saying is that the vision and the mission of the church must center around the Great Commission and the Great Commandment, which is what is the heartbeat of God for today's church. Then leadership development. Okay, as the church is growing, you need new skills, skill sets. You need good abilities to be able to penetrate your community with new people. Okay, equipping leaders, finding a system to identify round peg, putting them in round holes, square peg, putting them in square holes. I've seen a lot of churches, they are not tapping into the human resource that God has blessed them with. So you need to be able to have some leadership development in place so that your church can become healthy as it should be. So find a way, that's the ability for the church to identify certain skills, certain abilities, and also equip those leaders who can effectively lead others and serve the congregation. One thing I would say is that there's a level at which a pastor will lead a church that he cannot leave that church alone. And so you need a network of caregivers who will be leading 12. So if you have, let's say, a church of 400 and you have 12 leaders who are leading 12, okay, and then another 12, okay, so that's how you'll be able to have a form of discipleship network through your leadership development. Then community impact. How much, to what extent is the church making positive difference and impact in the surrounding community? The reason why your church is in that location is not by accident. Okay, so how much of impact are you making through outreach, through evangelism, through social justice initiative, through corporate social responsibility, and other forms of ministry? Okay, so it's also important to note that this benchmark should be viewed in the context of the larger understanding of what it means to be a healthy church. Okay, so don't look at just converts. I mentioned a lot of benchmarks, so go to the part 1 and part 2 of this and watch this. Don't look at one of those benchmarks and use that as it's not like saying that I'm looking at my temperature is the only thing I can use to measure my church health. So you need to look at one metric in light of the other ones, one other metric in light of the other ones, an understanding of what it means to be healthy from all the myriads of metrics that your church has, which is ultimately centered on a vibrant relationship with Jesus Christ, a commitment to Bible truth, and a deeper sense of love and unity within the body of believers. Okay? And so what I'm trying to say is you need to begin to look at how are these people that God has blessed me with, how are they united? How are they expressing their love for God? How are they also having the vibrant, constant relationship with Jesus Christ? How are they also committed to the biblical truth? How are they also being obedient to the Great Commission and the Great Commandment? You see, one of the things that I'm talking about this benchmark, it will be so misleading to think that the benchmarks are all about quantitative data. You have to be able to balance whatever quantitative data you have with qualitative data. So you're going to look at your backdoor statistics also, the number of decrease by death, the number of decrease by transfer, the number of people, the people who pass away in a year. You can look at those year in, year out. How many people are you losing through death? And the number of decrease by also transfer. How many of your church members are transferred their membership from your church to other churches on a yearly basis? Okay, be particularly aware about those who are transferring within your Jerusalem, within your locality. You know, it's very painful where you have somebody who is a member of your church who hits the back door and then goes to a church nearby, and then the church is also very close where your church is. So look at the driving distance to your church. Okay, there's an unhealthy driving distance. So if you have, let's say, for example, you have 85% of your church members who are driving, let's say, 30 or 40 minutes away from the church, that's not healthy. Okay, you're going to look at also transfer. You're going to look at also the number of workers you have, volunteers you have, whether it's increasing on a yearly basis or is decreasing on a yearly basis. That's the percentage of the members or your attendants, your congregation, who come regularly to your church, and they are serving through departments, small groups, and your ministries that you have year in, year out. And that should tell you that you are actually increasing. So if your workers are, let's say, 75 in a year, then the following year, and is dropping to 40, the following year is dropping to 30, you have to look at the rate at which you are adding workforce and compare that with the rate at which your church is growing year in, year. Your church cannot be growing at 20% and you are not getting workers in as much as 20% into your workforce. So you need to look at the increase and the decrease in the percentage of workers who are volunteering to contribute to your church. You also need to look at your givings. Okay, what percentage of your congregation who are coming regularly to your church are actually giving in terms of, and that's one of the things we check as a church consultant. That's what I call per capita giving. Per capita giving is the giving power of the church, the average amount of money a typical member of your church is giving to your church. Okay, and so we need to look at all these things in light with other this, because if you don't have money, there's no how you can get yourself to do ministry. You need quite a lot, even more than money, for you to be able to do ministry effectively. So numbers are not the best way to measure church health. We need to balance it with quantitative data and qualitative data, and I'll also look at the effectiveness of some of these benchmarks, especially, and then relate that to the size of your church, whether it's a small size church, it's a mid-sized church, or it's a large size church. Okay, and then let's see how, because if you start having hypertension when you are young, there's a problem. Okay, there are some sicknesses that are very conversant with some typical size of church, and so we need to make sure that you are actually having quantitative and qualitative data on the table. Let me wrap it up here so that I can do some promo before I do my sign out for today. And so we've been talking about benchmarks. Tom Rainer is a very fantastic guy. Dr. Tom Rainer is a mentor of mine, a good friend of mine, a fantastic church consultant. He's the founder and the CEO of Church Answers in the US. And so he's extending some massive discount to us in Africa. You want to become a certified church consultant. We got some very good few number of them who are on your way. One of them is already certified already, and it's pretty expensive to become an expert. But thank God, thanks to Dr. Tom Rainer, he has given over 40% discount. You want to become a certified church consultant to help your church revitalize and also help other churches revitalize. I mean, one of the students who went through this Church Constitution University, he just told me, he said, Pastor Niyi, I think I've gotten all it takes to be able to plant a church. Okay, and the thing is, that's it, because if you know what it is to assess a church on a healthy perspective, you will know what it takes to also lead a healthy church. So reach out to me on any of the social media handles. There's a number on the screen. Please there's an email on the screen also. You love the church, you have been a staff of the church, you have been you love the church, you've gone to seminary, you've gone to Bible school, you are pastoring a church, you've got some experience as a pastor of a church, and you just want to help your church, or to want to help other churches. You want to become well-trained, certified church consultant, and well equipped, because they're going to give you a lot of resources, and then you are going to also have 40% discount. Reach out to me and let's see how that will be delivered to you in autumn. So please get my book on church retention, Pathway to Growth. It's a book that is sizzling hot and is doing so well across the nations. Okay, people are buying it from us in Nigeria, and also buying also on Amazon Kindle. If you are out of the country, you want print on demand through Amazon, you can get it on Amazon, or you want the Kindle version, you can also get it on Amazon. I want to wrap it up from here. You have any church related questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me on any of the social media handles, and let's see how we can give you one and an answer. You have any inquiries, you want to engage us as a church consultants for training, for consultations, for revitalization, for strategic planning, let us know, and let's see how we can help you build very strong, dynamic church. This video has been helpful to you. Give us a like, do share us to your community, share us to your church leaders, share us to your pastors, drop us a comment. You've learned from me. I would love to learn from you. Drop me a comment in the comment section. I love to interact. I'm the receptionist of my company, and so I'm always engaging on my personal Facebook page, on Magnicraft Consulting Facebook page, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. Anywhere, just let me engage with you. Drop me a comment in the comment section, and you'll be able to get more than an interaction from me. I love pastors. I love to talk with them, because they are a very special breed of people that God needs in today's end time work that he has to do. And so please don't forget to go on all our social media handles, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell on YouTube, so that when we upload a new video, you'll be notified of those videos promptly. And so the number on the screen, we do consultations, we do revitalizations, we do trainings, we also do strategic planning for churches. Reach out to us on the number of the screen, and let's see how we can help your church move from where it is right now to where it used to be. You know, one of the things I've said in my post is not right. You get your church worse when you have a right solution to the wrong problem. So that's why, as church consultants, we want to do proper diagnosis of the church, so that we can know the exact problem. And then once you know the exact problem, you can be able to come out with the right solution to solve the exact problem, or the right problem that you want to solve. So the number on the screen, let's see how we can talk and see how we can help your church in moving forward towards church health. Till I come your way next week, Monday, with the final lap of benchmarks for church health, I sign out now. I say bye-bye. I love you. God bless you. Thank you so much.